All right, folks, welcome to the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR Racing Series here on Thursday night. And tonight we are here for the AmBetter Health 200 at Atlanta. I'm Rick Souza, joined here in the booth by Jeff Needy and Sal
Nicosia.
Gosh, I will get it right soon enough. I keep wanting to say it the Greek way.
Anyways, okay.
All right, so thanks for tuning in tonight. We're a little bit early than our typical broadcast, so that's a good thing. We should get this going around 9 p.m. About 4.5 minutes, almost 5 minutes left here before we go live with our broadcast. They've already qualified. We don't have all those details yet, but we'll bring that to you as soon as we have that information on from the folks. So let's go ahead and bring up our race info for today. So again, AmBetter Health 200, and if you can go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, we are at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the track that is similar to a super speedway, but only 1.5 miles in length, and that's going to make it interesting tonight. Weather looks really good, 78 degrees, 45% humidity, a little bit of clouds, but virtually no wind. So that makes for some good racing. 130 laps tonight. We will take a stage break at lap 43. And this leg has no quick repairs, so it's like real life. If you wreck your car on lap 1, then you're going to sit the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if we've got the right number of tires in. If one of you could check on that on the race.
6 sets was what they said on iRacing on the info screen.
All right, so we are correct at 6 sets of tires. It's 75% fuel, which should put pit stops somewhere between 45 to 50 laps, somewhere in that window.
And those green flag pit stops are a ton of fun here because that pit road line is kind of backed up, and should be interesting to see how guys approach that, get a little practice in, hopefully, before we get this started for most of the drivers on the grid.
Oh, I tell you, we broadcasted a league last night. Those green flag pit stops, with the fact that they have to enter here on the tail end of the backstretch to get into, and we'll take you through that at some point and show our viewers exactly where they have to come in. But if you're looking at the screen, it's in that northwest corner as they begin to enter into turn 3. You've got to dive down, get below the apron, on the apron, and then go around. Now, you can go as fast as you want to whip around through 3 and 4, but you got to woe it up pretty good because pit road speed is going to, I think it's 55 here at Atlanta. You're going to get down pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's the, in theory, you can go wide open, but in actuality, that is flat down there on that apron. And if you're not careful, you can slide right back up onto the racetrack and really mess up your day.
Especially here. And one of the things we definitely learned in talking with drivers when we broadcasted at this track before is, it's super speedway speeds, but you're in a track that's only 1.5 miles around. So things happen super fast. And going through the front stretch with that tri-oval, that is very sketchy, and we saw that specifically last night. So that's going to play a little bit of havoc. It's really easy to kind of lose your place as to where you are in the track because there's 4 turns plus the tri-oval that come up, and it comes up fast. So you've got to be really spatially aware of where you are, and we'll see that, especially since we're going to run mostly. You'll see a lot of 2 wide and sometimes 3 wide here at Atlanta.
That's where it gets scary or gets nerve-wracking for a driver. And boy, what you were saying about things happening quicker, you really see it in the qualifying speeds. I think at Daytona last week, we were qualifying maybe 45 seconds, 46 seconds, right in that range. Here we're at 31 seconds. So that's considerably faster per lap. So you barely cross the finish line. 30 seconds later, you're back at it again. after having gone a mile and a half around the track. So it does happen very, very quickly.
And just to make a correction that someone did bring up and say in our YouTube chat that the speed on pit road is 45, so they got to woe down from 180 down to 45 pretty darn quick. So that's going to be a challenge tonight. We'll see that as soon as we get the qualifying order, we'll bring that up to you and bring up the grid. We should have that to you in about 30 seconds. We're going to have to run through that pretty quickly because, again, it's a mile-and-a-half track, and there are a lot of entries here tonight. So we should have a full field. I believe we have 40 full entries. So it's a packed house.
Yeah, on our new graphic screen that we have available to us, Rick, I'm only getting the top 2/3 of it, I think. My start-finish line is at the bottom of the screen, so I can't see any of that information below that.
Okay. Well, we'll do our best to get you that. So, all right, we're about to wrap up. This was a little bit of a communication with the driver and the drivers and the admin folks. So we should get the starting grid up, and we have 49 entries. Well, there may have been a cutoff there. We'll see just who we have in the field. So, but right now, I'm sorry, 40. It shows 46, but we'll see who actually grids up here. So,
interesting fact here: Austin Wheeler, who came in second last week at Daytona, was our fastest qualifier tonight. So
yeah, let's go ahead and bring
he
up
evidently likes these plate type tracks.
All right, here comes our grid. Do you want to kick us off? Jeff, you're able to see all those?
Sure. I can see up through position 8. Starting off, like we mentioned, Austin Wheeler in the 48. Alongside him is Clark Franz in the 15. Simon Madgen in the 46 car. Vernon Broadbeck in 4th position in the 10. Eric Jeffers in 5th. John Ledger in 6th. Paul Irvin in 7th. Alex Murphy in 8th. Then Jay Schultz alongside Gary Wells make up the top 10.
All right, 11th, we got Matt Crockett in 12th. Mike Campeggio in 13th. Ty Bostic. 14th is Hunter Hastings. 15th is Corey Bunch. 16th is Tyler Sexton. Jonathan Varanowskis is in 17th. Caleb Lamb in 18th. Keith Fonseca is in 19th. And John Durgis is in 20th.
We've got Corey Ennis in 21st alongside Joseph Darnell. And Joseph Darnell did not make the field. Michael Whitley is in 22nd. Tyler Lame in 23rd. Tony Japs is right there in 24th spot. Jordan Wenzel in 25th. Jacob Mossau, 26th. Garrett Walden, 27. 28 is Jeremy Cody. And Lucas Whitehead did not make the field. Matthew Parasini is in 29th, and Shane Trotter in 30th.
Okay, that's a little bit different than what we've got here, Jeff.
Okay.
Let's just recap real quick. 21st, Corey Ennis. 22nd, Joe Darnell. 23rd, Michael Whitley Jr. Tyler Lem is in 24th. Tony Japson, 25th. Jordan Wenzel in 26th, Samuel Lawson 27th, Jacob Musau in 28th, Garrett Walden 29th, and Jeremy Cody is in 30th. Let me go ahead and just kind of grab this up here. Matt Pericini in 31st, Shane Trotter 32nd, Jumoso in 33rd, Lucas Whitehead 34th, Vince Burns is going to be in 35th, 36th is Josh Douglas, Austin Walton is in 37th, Martin Pinnell 38th, Jeff Ramsey 39th, and Christopher Cash is in 40th. That is the full field. We did have 46 cars attempt to get in. Obviously, 6 cars did not make it, including Scott Thomas, one of the league owners. Bradley Reese did not make the field. Mike Robinson did not make the field. Robin Moldato did not make the field, and Dan Hughes, unfortunately, did not make the cut tonight here in Atlanta.
That is an amazing turnout. I'll tell you, but you don't see that a lot, and it's nice to see so many guys interested in racing in this league. These guys are very good drivers, do an excellent job, put on a great show, so we are in for an exciting evening.
All right, so we're getting this together. We'll just see what happens. We should Guess we're still probably waiting for about 4 or 5 drivers to stage. They've got about another minute, I think, to get underway, and we'll get this going. So tonight, when we were talking about things that are going to be crucial and keys to tonight's race, the one that we have in talking with other drivers is survive.
Boy, that's the case. This track, I know when I've raced in races on this track before, you can be in for a caution fest, or if you have some guys that keep their heads, don't try to win the race on the first lap, then you can have a good clean race and it goes pretty well. But you do have to survive. You can't. Well, they say to win or place first you must survive, and it's a difficult thing to do. Sometimes you get caught up in accidents that aren't your own making.
All right, still waiting for this field to get underway. I keep making sure it's not a glitch. You guys see the same thing? We're still waiting for the field.
iRacing is sitting still also. So
okay, all right, just making sure that our broadcast folks are still.
But iRacing had the results all different too, so I don't know what to go with there. I still hear the drivers and race control talking to each other. So
gotcha. All right, so again, 5 drivers in the field who have not staged. There may be something going on. I do see a driver who has come in. I think Scott Thomas actually has qualified now for the event. So I think this is really this is an admin thing at this point. We're waiting for admin to get things shaken out, and we'll get this race underway momentarily. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to this. This is a bunch of really good racers, and it should be a very interesting race.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys put on a good show. What did we have last week? I think 4 cautions, and for a Daytona race, that's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I think we're going to see some clashes. But at the same time, I think these guys will put on a clean show.
This track is a ton of fun. I mean, when I saw it pop up in the schedule, I was like, okay, how am I going to slide my way into the broadcast crew tonight? Because this is going to be one that's exciting. Coming off the heels of Daytona, this is one of those tracks. As you guys have already said, it's a super speedway, but it's a mile and a half, and it's got so many different elements to it. Racing around early, it is that game of survival where cold tires on a track like this can be difficult, but even as the race goes on and those tires get hot and start wearing out, 6 sets, there's a reason they have them. So be interesting to see how long teams decide to push their luck here at Atlanta.
Yeah, the strategy is completely different on this track, even though you race it very similar to how you would race Daytona or Talladega. The strategy is different, fuel strategy, tire strategy. When you make your move, the drafting is a little bit different, but still, you'll still see drafting all night long. You've got to stay with the main pack.
I think one of the things that we learned last night as we watched this race go on here in Atlanta is that in the first 50 or 60 laps, first 50 laps, we didn't see the outside line be competitive. And what we realized was that the outside line hadn't really rubbered in. But once they began to get some rubber up there on the high line, that became the place to be. But it took some time to get a little bit of wear and get those tires, because it's a fairly abrasive track. Even with the new paving, it's still an abrasive track, but it needs that rubber in to make that high line competitive. And once it did, we saw speeds improve, side drafting. It just became that much more exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. This track takes a toll on tires, and one reason is because the turns are sharper than what they would be at someplace like Daytona, because it's only a mile and a half. You've got a shorter distance to get from the back stretch to the front stretch. So those corners are going to be a little bit tighter. They're going to eat at your tires more. It's going to put a lot of rubber in those corners, which then makes a different change to the track. But it's amazing to me how much the track will change from the start of the race to the end of the race. Because you're looking at it from home, it looks the same. It looks like that gray strip of asphalt with white striping on it. But it will change considerably over the course of a race.
Curious to see tonight how drivers use the front stretch to their advantage. You know, there is a flat portion kind of at the bottom of this track, kind of below the start finish line that, you know, you can kind of go down onto a little bit. Tough to get back up onto the track once you venture into that no man's land area. It can make your lap times quick, but you know, there's always the risk that someone maybe won't let you back up into the spot you thought was there. So should be interesting to see, while we're talking about rubbering in and we're talking about all these different elements of the track, how guys go ahead and try to utilize just every inch from top to bottom throughout the race.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I did get a notification from race control that they are almost ready to go. We're just waiting on a couple admin things to occur, and we'll get this underway.
Good deal. This thing's going to get really exciting when they go 3 wide, because it's a tougher track. At least for me, it's a tougher track to drive 3 wide than, say, a Daytona, and definitely tougher than Talladega at 3 wide.
Well, one of the things that we saw, especially when, after you go through that first round of pit stops and everybody is not on the same strategy, the field begins to spread out, and then with that you wind up having the leaders run up on some slower cars, maybe too wide, and then it gets to be crazy.
It's a tight
cars
squeeze.
Have rolled off the grid. Here we go. Finally.
All right, finally, getting this underway. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series here in Atlanta. We are getting underway here. Completely full field. We've got 40 cars. Made it again. I'm looking forward to what this delivers tonight, guys.
Oh, there we go. Already, pit car, the pace car is off onto pit road.
You're not wasting any time.
No, we are green flag now. Here we go.
We
Good
are
jump.
Underway. Austin Wheeler leads. He was our pole sitter, and he is out in front. We're 2 wide. To the outside is the 15 of Clark Franz.
That second line is moving already.
Be interesting to see here too. Kind of being in the mix last week. This team driving. How will that play into factor tonight? As this is the drafting intermediate. Gonna look to see guys get together here and work with each other to really get a major advantage in the draft. Something I'm thinking about as you see, those Roadrunner Motorsports guys kind of running nearby one another.
Absolutely good outside run here.
Rubber or not, they're making that top line work early here.
Absolutely. I think what'll really give our viewers a good indication about how and what they're seeing. Let's go on board with the 19 of John Ledger from his cockpit and see what he sees.
One thing I seemed to notice before was the cars had a lot more lateral movement than they did last week. So a lot more side to side. And that makes it tougher to run in traffic like this.
So you saw him just cross that tri-oval. Now they're down into turn 1. You can see, just looking at his rear view mirror, his side mirror, he's going to have his head on a swivel to keep that car pointed in the right direction and to avoid wind up in the door of his competitor. You can also see that he got a really good run. That's the 10 that's in front of him of Vernon Broadbeck. Just in that draft, he was able to really run up on top of him.
Yeah, and boy, you have to stay on top of it. You can't lose concentration at all, because in that situation right there, if John would have been looking in his mirror when that happened, and he has to look in his mirror. But if he would have been looking right then, he could have very easily been into the back of Broadbeck and caused a big pileup.
All right, Austin Wheeler continues to lead out here. Single file a bit here with the 46 of Simon Magin, Eric Jeffers, Paul Irwin, and Jai Schultz there, 1 through 5.
Yeah, the second line has fallen back. That outside lane is just really dropped back. I don't know if a lot of guys maybe climbed down into the inside lane. It looks like there's a lot more cars on the inside lane now than the outside, so that could be why that right side or that outside lane is falling way back.
Yeah, those guys have significantly less cars in that line, just not being able to take advantage of the draft probably the way they want to, like that inside line has been able to do. But that inside line, let me tell you, it's you're throwing it in there on the bottom of the corner. It's sticking right now, and maybe that might not be the case up top there, where we're still waiting for some of that grip to come in as we go further along in this race.
Well, this is one of those tracks where you can't sit in the back and pedal your way around for 100 laps. You've really got to charge, get up to the front, and make your move even from the early onset of this, because you'll just get buried in traffic.
Yeah, it's a very tough position to be in, because you want to be conservative, save your stuff for later in the race, but at the same time, like you said, Rick, if you hang back too much, then you don't have time, or you don't have the ability to get to the front. It's not as easy as maybe it used to be with some of the older car designs, like the 6th gen and the Gen 4 car and things like that. They could really suck up, and you could almost pass at will if your car was running well. And it's a little bit tougher nowadays.
So you think we're pretty much still side-by-side action all the way up. We're one solid pack, although there is some break pretty far back in the field. Let's try to get a feel for who's back there. I think go back. Oh, one car on the wall there. That was Tony Japs in the 42. Tagged that retaining wall, and like many tracks, if you're brushing up against that safer barrier, it's kind of like it just sucks you in and pulls you back.
It really does. You almost have to jerk the wheel to get off of that wall and get back out to friction-free running.
Yeah, that thing really wants to reach out and grab you. It's one of those walls where you gotta get into the wheel and really make sure you're off of there before you keep on racing. But you saw them go 3 wide there when that happened a little bit. So some tight tolerances here as they're just getting started. Only lap 11.
Looking towards the tail end of the field, that's Ron Fitting, Scott Thomas, Mike Wheel, Martin Giroux, and Jeff Ramsdell in the back there. Those guys are going to need to work really well together and stay nose to tail if they have any hope and desire to catch back up with the field.
Yeah, and so far they're not accomplishing that. You see them wigwagging around a lot. They're not staying in a good tight line, and it'll be impossible for them to catch up with everyone if they can't do that.
We're trying to keep an eye on the rest of the field, giving you a chance to see your favorite driver who may be out there. It is definitely too wide. A lot of action here, and side drafting is a major factor with the aero on these cars and specifically on this track.
And then in itself, it's difficult for some people to be able to side draft well, and you've got to be very precise, and you've got to tighten up those belts and go after it, because when you're trying to side draft him, he doesn't want to be side draft, so he's either moving away or moving over towards you first, and you gotta be paying attention.
Yeah, driver awareness is the name of the game here, where guys are running around checking their mirrors almost the whole way. You don't ever want to just drive in your mirror, but it's tough to do as these guys get really, really close coming through here 3 and 4.
So looking at the 14 of Matt Crockett there, he is kind of like the tail end of the single line at the front. He's running in 6th. Everything behind him is pretty much stacked up too wide. You see the 19 of Ledger beginning to come up to his side. A little bit of of ground they're making up on the outside there with the 19 and the 11 of Gary Wells, trying to make a little bit of a run here and try to catch up to that lead pack.
Take a quick look at the top 10 if it doesn't change too much. Austin Wheeler still in the lead of this race, followed by Simon Magin in second, Eric Jeffers in third, Paul Irvin in fourth, Jay Schultz in fifth, John Ledger sixth, Matt Crockett seventh, Gary Wells in eighth, Ty Bostic in ninth, and Vernon Broadbeck finishes out the top 10. Vernon was our final podium place winner last week, finishing third at Daytona.
So next time by on the backstretch, we'll bring up our blimp cam, try and get a feel, to give you an idea just exactly where that line is that they'll have to begin to look at and think about pit stops in about 20, 25 laps. We're getting a bigger, wider shot to give you a feel for this. As we're coming down the backstretch, you'll begin to see a yellow line that will cross right there. That's the entrance to pit road. Now, as I stated earlier, you don't have to slow down until you do. Right about that's your entrance onto the pit road, and the cone is right there, and you've got to be 45 miles an hour, or you're going to wind up with a black flag and lose a whole lap here at this track.
And it's a long lap to lose. You can lose a lot of positions and a lot of laps, even just coming in for green flag pit stops and on the cycle. So definitely these guys are going to be very cognizant of the fact that, you know, those black flags mean more than just losing one potentially.
Yeah, just your time sitting in your pit box is a half a lap. So you count down the time to slow down getting into the pits, and then the ramp up to get back out of the pits again. And yeah, you lose more than a lap on that easily.
So while we're kind of showing you that, the outside line has changed up a bit dramatically. See the 51 of Paul Irvin now on the outside, as well as Gary Wells. Gary's in the 11. Just behind the 11 is the number 1, I believe. That is going to be Hunter Hastings. And the 43 of Garrett Walden. That's the top 4 on that outside line, with the 35 of Tyler Sexton there. They've begun to make up some space. So the 19 of John Ledger, he's now up to 4th. He dropped down to that lower line. That seems to be right now the more solid, but the more these guys run that higher line, the more rubber that gets burned off. That outside line will end up being the line to run on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how early guys commit to that top line, so they know that they have that space. Obviously, before the first pit stop, round of pit stops here, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because that rubber's going to take time to dig in. But I thought John did a great job there, jumping down to the bottom when he saw the hole open up and kind of get to those positions as he saw an opening there, taking advantage here early in the race.
All right, 21 laps complete here in Atlanta with the iNRS Racing Series. Got some great competition going on again, as you can just watch. And as soon as we tell you who's leading, it's going to change. As soon as we tell you who's on the outside line, it's going to change.
The group has broken up now into 3 separate packs. So already you're seeing a disparity in the way either their cars are handling. Your car handling is much more critical, I think, here at Atlanta than it was even at Daytona.
One of the
car spinning, wrecking. Get wrecked in the back.
I heard somebody yelling.
Austin Walton.
Yep. Caution's out. First caution.
Looked like for a second there, I wasn't sure who got into the wall there initially, but it looked like for a second he was going to hold it up, but somebody came hooking around there and got right up into him and whacked that outside wall as well.
Yeah, the 17 of Austin Walton certainly got a little bit of damage. We'll take a look at that, see if we can jump back in. So it looks like there was action well before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some contact there.
And that's a 35 who comes
and then
down.
He comes down. Oh, there it is right there.
And that's Sexton in the 35.
Sends the 17 for a ride.
Yeah, but what precipitated that was, let's go back up and see what happens to the 35 here. It's like that, is that
Oh,
Buggy's car up there?
looks like he gets tapped
Yeah,
on
that
the left rear.
that red and white machine there, I guess he almost was clear. Just about, not
Yeah,
quite.
just about. That's the 44 there. Just kind of let's back up just a tiny little bit here.
Yeah, Jeremy Cotier there in the 44 just kind of looked like he had a run.
So the 35 is moving down. Yeah, 44 had a run. He tried to avoid him, but there was some minor contact there with the left rear.
Looks like he knew he was going to get spun and corrected and took him right into the wall.
Yeah, unfortunately, as he came back down, the 17 was the victim of circumstances here and winds up getting hooked into the wall.
And remember, we're watching that in slow motion, so I'm sitting here wondering why he didn't turn back up the track, but that all took place in a second or so.
Yep.
So
sure did.
It's tough. Things happen so quickly.
All right, so a number of drivers who came in there at lap 24. Most did not. Majority of the field stayed out. Tyler Sexton and Austin Walton are both in the pits right now, probably getting a little bit of repairs done, especially on that 17.
Yeah, it looks like everybody from 31st back is pitted.
That's just one of those tough. That's a tough racing deal there, where it's just that part of the track here at Atlanta is so competitive for position because you want to be in a happy place as you're going through 1 and 2, and getting that leapfrog where you can kind of get in front of a guy is a huge benefit as you start going back around toward the backstretch. So just ran out of real estate there, those guys. That's crazy already so early. Only, like you said, only lap 26. Give guys a chance to come get their stuff fixed, but if that's what we're in store for, we got an exciting night ahead of us.
We do. All right, so also remember, as we said at the outset, that this is that there is a stage break here at lap 43. We are at lap 26 in, so there is a stage break coming up. Just a few laps to go.
Yep, we were talking about the qualifying speed when they're running single was in the 31-32 range, 31 seconds, 32 seconds. But now our fast lap of the race is 29.5. Not as much of a disparity as there was at Daytona, but still a couple seconds, sometimes even 2.5 seconds faster in the draft. So if you're not in the draft, you're going to go backwards quickly.
So lights are off on top of the pace car. We do show that Austin Wheeler has led 25 of the 26 laps. Clark Franz did get to lead 1, so he'll pick up a point or 2 as part of that the point system here as they work their way towards eventually the playoffs. All right, pace car is down, about to go back to green flag racing. This is all in the hands of Austin Wheeler in the 48, and off we go.
Good jump.
Yeah, he's getting away there on that restart there. What a good jump by him.
Well, the one thing on these kind of tracks, you'll jump out, but you're gonna get run down pretty quick.
Yeah, the rest of the field's going to be sniffing up behind him in a real hurry. Honestly, it's one of those deals where you don't want to be out there on an island by yourself, right? Similar to Talladega and Daytona.
That's right.
You give the guys a chance to get a run on you and then make a move when you get out a little too far. So I'm sure it's not the worst thing in the world for him to see the rest of the pack rejoin him here as they're coming back through around into turns 1 and 2 again.
Well, there's about 10 miles per hour slower when you're by yourself versus in the pack, so that's going to make a big difference.
Ooh, Eric Jeffers moved out to take the lead of that second. Oh, and now the lead of the race.
Yeah, he said,
cars.
He said, I'm tired of riding around back here behind P1. I want a piece of this for myself. And he jumped out and held on to that thing and out there leading.
So Eric Jeffers leads lap 29 here at Atlanta.
Well, Simon Madgen in that 46 car doesn't want to stay back there, though. He just keeps looking around the right side, then he's down looking around the left side. Now he's finally settled down, running right behind him and letting them build up that run on the outside.
Is it too early to start talking about 3 wide, or are we at that point?
Well, it's 3 wide here in Atlanta. It's kind of jumps up at you, and it's hard to maintain.
Boy, it is. If we start running 3 wide this early, I'm afraid we're going to be in for a caution fest.
Yeah, and the hardest part is that there's the way this track is configured. There is really zero room for error, and as you go through that trial, the wheel just snaps around on you. And to do that 3 wide, you've got to have you must have been living pretty good to make it through 3 wide repeatedly.
Yeah, I
well,
feel
we've
like
got most of the cars back in a single pack now. We still have a few stragglers. Looks like the 11, the 35 are running on their own. I think the 11 may have somebody running with him, but I can't really see who that is.
I think Austin Walton is back in the pits trying to get some repairs made. He's been in there from that hard crash. Levin is by himself. That is Gary Wells.
Yeah, that outside line is doing very well now.
They got a good run. Good run for John Ledger up there. He's currently showing in third. So you got Eric Jeffers, Simon Magin, John Ledger. Right now, 1, 2, 3 on that high side.
Just goes to show how maybe some of these early moves pay off. Ledger was somebody who we saw kind of running in that 2x2 action there early on, making that early move to get down to the bottom, and then the caution comes out, and here he is up here in P3, just slowly, methodically, kind of ticking them off one at a time as Jeffers makes a move back to the bottom.
Yeah, Jeffers followed the lead of Simon Magin, who dropped down to that low line and figured it might as well just kind of run in front.
Yeah, that low line picked up a head of steam and got a good run, and he headed that off at the pass, got down there before they could get around him. It's when he's driving with his head in the rearview mirror, watching what's going on.
Well, to be successful here, you've got to have someone that can give you a little bit of a bump draft, a little bit of a push to really get you up there, because that's the only way you're going to be able to really get out there and differentiate yourself. So the 19 of Ledger's got the 14 on his tail. That 14 is Matt Crockett. But here in Atlanta, because of the shortness of the track, you can see right there, he just...
Whoa! Yep. John Ledger got tapped from behind.
Yep, he got that big push. Well, big wreck. Lots going on here.
Boy.
Oh, coming back up the track even.
Hard into the wall. That
That
just made that wreck even bigger.
There's a lot of damaged race cars. Crockett, Jordan Wenzel, Josh Douglas, Scott Thomas, Ty Bostic, Vernaskis, Broadbeck, and obviously Ledger there, who was out of shape, I think, by a bush.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who was behind him, but he was
Matt
going
Crockett.
smooth and straight, and all of a sudden, somebody got into the back of him, and it turned him just enough that he came around, and then since he was so far to the front, a lot of people caught up in that.
Yeah,
maybe
in
the pits right now.
Maybe that's just a mistimed push there, but trying to get lined up to give that good push for the entire duration of the backstretch is a hard thing to do. And when it comes too early and you end up grabbing somebody, this is the result.
Yep.
So we can see right there, the 14 of Matt Crockett is right there on the rear bumper. Now they're a little bit offset, and with the push offset like that, that shoves the 19 down into Vernon Broadbeck in the 10.
Yeah, and that's tough. They're still kind of on the banking.
Of the field.
Yeah.
And then they start checking up, and the guy behind them doesn't check up. See that farthest car that's spinning there? That's what happened to him. He checked up, and the guy behind ran right into him and turned him.
A lot of drama, lots of action going on. A lot of bent sheet metal.
It just keeps on going. This thing went the whole backstretch from the end of turn 2 to the beginning of turn 3 here. They just, fire and brimstone the whole way.
Oh, saw Derudris, who tried to make a move to avoid that, actually wound up getting caught in the right rear by the 22 of Ty Bostic, his teammate.
That's such a hard thing, trying to stay down low there on the apron. Can barely see anything. We watched that in slow motion, like we said before, too, at that first caution. And I mean, as it happens, it's Code Brown in the car,
I'll say.
All right, second caution has come out here at lap 38, which means we're going to have a bit of a shootout here as we head towards the end of stage 1. So they'll get the green back with maybe just a lap or two before we get a stage break.
So what's the strategy now?
It's all, I think, well, if you're asking me, it's every man for himself with just a couple laps before that stage break. You want those stage points, that's going to be some money there.
Yep. That's what makes it tough. If it was just a competition caution, that'd be one thing. But when it's a stage break and you have a chance to get points by staying up front, then you're going to see guys, 10th and back that may decide to pit early. And then when the leaders go in and pit, then all of a sudden they're in the catbird seat and the leaders are back mid-pack.
Yeah, I think with the two cautions that we've had, there's probably a good number of the field have not come in. And they're okay. There's no need to pit here for fuel anyway prior to this stage break. So.
And as unfortunate as that wreck was for a lot of folks, it does give the opportunity for those who were kind of riding around in the back there, not making any inroads, to have the chance now to finish with some stage points here as we're getting closer and closer to that stage break.
So Eric Jeffers will be the control car. He's down on the low side, the 46 of Simon Magin to the outside. When they take the green flag, there'll be 3 laps to go prior to the end of stage 1. Eric Jeffers is in control in the Geico restart zone, and we are back under green flag here in Atlanta.
That bottom line just gets such a great jump. Those guys are out, clearing away here, running 1 and 2.
Great jump on the 12. Good to the 48 stick in behind. The 46 of Magin right there. Jai Schultz.
Be interesting to see here if everybody decides to behave themselves or make a move to grab that top spot here for those stage points. That 48's been looking fast all night. Might still have something to see here before the end of the break.
All right, just 2 laps to go before this stage is over.
It's interesting how they've now all of a sudden they've gone to single file for the most part. And
that top line is non-existent really up here in the front. It's kind of waning in the back, but everybody just trying to get to the end of this, it feels like.
Oh, a little bit of move on the outside. So this stage will end at the end of this lap.
Waiting to see here if the 48 of Austin Wheeler has anything for him here as they come back around. See some guys moving around there.
You've got to make a move.
51 decided to
A
jump
couple
out.
guys out there now. Let's see if they can pick up a couple spots. Oh, there we go.
There he goes.
Almost contact.
Ooh.
Ooh, Austin Wheeler tried to side draft there and almost lost it. Somebody did.
All right, stage one complete. Good battle for the lead right there to get those 10 stage points.
Looks like Austin Wheeler looks like he finished first in that stage.
Eked him out by a hair there. I mean, you're looking. I mean, I was watching that one pretty close with my glasses on and all, and I couldn't tell with the naked eye. So
yeah, that was a great move.
Yeah, smart. He waited that whole way, let the run come to him, and just made that little dive move there. Almost looked like they were going to get door to door as they came back across the start finish, but maybe just that little bit of movement took a little air off the 12 and gave Wheeler the chance to beat Jeffers back to the line.
So one of the things they've got to do is really continue to race here to catch up to the pace car, which comes in a little bit different area of the track, and then get woed up in time to pick up the pace car.
It'll be interesting to see how many guys are able to get off pit road after that last big wreck. We've got cars, ranging from 1 lap down to 11 laps down and everywhere in between. So interesting to see. We talked early before the race started about, how guys are going to have to manage lap traffic here, as strategy comes into play, and it'll be interesting to see how they decide to show courtesy to one another here as the leaders run around here. This group, they all seem like a good, upstanding group. Yep. This isn't like your typical officials iRacing where people are just kind of ready to dive bomb it in and do whatever. So
no, lots of respect happening here. So you got 30 cars that are currently on the lead lap, so we should expect to see all 30 of those cars coming down pit road, and then those that are lapped down, we'll see them come in soon after that.
We have several big winners as far as advancing their position. Mike Wheel right now is in 9th spot, up 28 positions. Vince Burns in 10th, he's up 22. Joe Mossau is up 20 in 11th. You get down to 17th. Richard Mills, he's up 21 spots from the where he started. Martin Giroux up 19 spots. So there's some drivers here that have really made good headway. Jeff Ramsdell is 32 spots up over where he was. Some of these guys now are staying out, while Mike Wheel and Jeff Ramsdale stayed out, while other guys came in and pitted.
I think they may be a lap down.
Oh, really? It doesn't show that on mine. That's weird.
All right, while the work is underway on pit road, you see most of these guys will be taking 4 Goodyear tires and a full tank of Sunoco fuel. We thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast. And we ask that if you can, if you haven't already, if you could like and subscribe to the IWM Broadcast Network. Keep you up to date on what's happening here on our Wednesday night series and here on our Thursday night series. And also we will have some special events coming up through the year. I think we've got a March 9th broadcast of a 500-mile event on a Sunday. We'll get you more details on that as the weeks get closer. That is a paid event, which means the drivers will pay a fee to enter. And there's some big dollars for that. And again, we'll get you some details. But the caution is, this is a stage break, and our caution is competition caution coming to a close as service is complete, and we'll be soon back underway here in Atlanta. So 47 laps, guys, in the books. Thoughts?
I mean, it's been interesting from my seat to see how aggressive drivers have gotten. It hasn't been terribly aggressive, but if we're already at a stage, we're already through the first stage here, 2 cautions. Not that we expect this to turn into a yellow flag fest, but as the racing conditions get a little tighter and as positions become more scarce, I'm curious to see where these guys test the limits of the pushes and the three wides and the moves. But it's been really entertaining racing so far. I'm excited to see how they all move forward here through this race here at Atlanta.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a push gone bad with the contact with the 19 of Ledger there and Matt Crockett. Super easy to do here. These bumpers don't line up perfectly correct, especially in between different manufacturers. Just taking a look down here to Matt Crockett. Matt's in a Ford. Let's try to see what John Ledger is in. He's in a Chevrolet, so bumper's going to be a little bit different, nose to tail there, and unfortunately that can easily be a problem. Now, the other thing is also the fact that here in Atlanta, with that tri-oval and the fact that it's a mile and a half, you're nearly always going to wind up being in a corner. There's the back stretch is the only real place where you've got clean straightaway racing.
Yeah, the time you can really spend hooked up to somebody is unbelievably small. I mean, I've seen folks try to push on the front stretch right here as where the pace car is coming in, and that, unless you really know what you're doing, that can often be a recipe for disaster. So as these drivers look to kind of challenge each other a little more and gain position, it'll be interesting to see how they try to do it, especially with those pushes. We know these Gen 7 cars too, like they don't take pushes as well as previous Gen Cup cars. So guys who may be running a different series, they're going to have to rewire their brains a little bit to treat it a little bit differently as maybe some of the other things they're running nights throughout the week.
All right, lights are off on the pace car. We're about to go back to green flag racing here. Now, interestingly enough, Mike Wheel is out front as well as Jeff Ramsdell. They did not come into the pits. So these guys are on older tires. They pitted last on lap 24 and 37 respectively, so they're definitely on slightly older tires.
This is something hopefully the rest of the field is aware of and is being communicated amongst the drivers, because it's going to be this could be something to see. Cautions breed cautions, and I know this was just a stage break, but hopefully the field behind them can kind of navigate as they get rolling here again.
Keeping our eye on that 96, because right now that pace car is about to drop off, and Mike will be in charge as he enters that Geico restart zone. Oh, he stacks the field up. Did not get a good.
That's those old tires.
Start. Yeah.
On display right there. Perfect example. Good on the 48 there for checking it up and not getting all the way through the back of them. It could have been a tough one.
Saw Jeff Ramsdell move down from the outside line to move in front of the 96, who now finds himself surrounded by guys on fresher tires.
That outside line's getting a good run now.
Yeah, that bottom line's getting bottled up by those two guys with the older tires a little bit. Patience is going to be key here for those who are faster on that bottom line.
Yeah, that's just sending Austin Wheeler backwards.
Yeah, that 12 of Eric Jeffers played a good bit of Tetris there and wound up working his way around.
That might ultimately help that bottom line. Jeffers being a little bit quicker might allow those two cars on the older tires to draft up a little bit better and kind of space that bottom line out and give it a little more speed.
We haven't talked much about Paul Irwin in that 51 machine tonight, but there he is leading the race now.
There he goes.
Paul's a new name. We haven't seen him. I think it's his first year here at the Cup Series with the iNRS Racing Series.
Paul and Eric wasted no time here as they're kind of swapping spots back and forth. There's that top line though, really getting out as they go through the front stretch.
Yeah, that's a helpless feeling too when you're on the slow line and everybody's just rolling by you, and there's nowhere to get up.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I was the 40 of Austin Wheeler, I'd be banging my head against the steering wheel right now trying to figure out a way to get around here, because you can only play the Tetris game if there's a hole to fill, and
yeah,
it's difficult.
And he's dropped all the way back to 12th position, and that just after running up front for so long, that's got to be frustrating.
Almost a little bit of contact. It was super close between the 96 and I think the 42. Outside line's got some really good speed there, making some hay on the outside. Inside line, not so much. But we're still too wide here. Just 10 laps away from halfway, so we should see them come back in for another pit stop somewhere around lap 90. If we don't have any incident or a caution that happens before then, if we stay green, we should see them back in around lap 90, which could be their final pit stop.
And that's what these guys who stayed out are hoping for, the 96 to the 97 there. They are hoping they can make it to that green flag pit stop along with the rest of the field, get themselves played into that long caution strategy. Here we go, some more moves at the front here. Hunter Hastings getting to the bottom of that, getting to the bottom of the track there, the front of that bottom line, and they are making a run.
Sometimes it's something as simple as which car is pushing and which car is being pushed. It's just some cars do really well as a pushing car. Others prefer to be pushed, and if you get the wrong combination, that does not help your line stay in contention.
Well, you gotta figure that 12 of Eric Jeffers, he's fortunate enough to have the 43 behind him. That's his teammate in Full Throttle Motorsports.
Yeah,
they're both in Chevys. Can't hurt.
You can see
absolutely.
You can see the comfort level there. They've been really close and kind of giving each other bumps, even in the corners the last few laps. So those guys are definitely on the same page as they're looking to make a run there on the outside line.
Yeah, there's a big trust factor when it's somebody that you know and somebody that's has a vested interest in you doing well. John Ledger somehow miraculously has made his way back up towards the front again, running fourth right now in that 19 car.
Yeah.
Coming from being spun to getting back to fourth position very quickly, actually. So great job by John there to get back up towards the front.
Yeah, now these guys are about to run up on a lap car that's running by himself. Waiting for it to get in. That's the 79.
Hugging the wall there. Good job by him to stay out of the way.
What a great place to come past the lap car there too. Kind of flat track. A good place for him to get out of the way, as everybody kind of makes their way.
That's the 79 of Scott Thomas.
He's going to try to duck in here behind that white car that you see so that he doesn't lose the draft. He'll come down the track there and hopefully can stay with them.
Yep, super hard to do.
Yeah. It's not looking like he's being successful.
Back up front, see Eric Jeffers and Garrett Walden still there. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll go side by side. You won't miss anything. We'll be right back.
HDI provides commercial smart security systems, audio-visual solutions, TV mounting and installation, access control, and surveillance systems. In addition, our networking division can provide business networking and Wi-Fi solutions. All these systems can be remotely managed through our ACE HTI applications and cloud-based solutions. Running a business these days is a tough and demanding job. Let the folks at ACE HTI ensure that your place of business is safe for your workers and your company assets. ACE HTI can offer you integrated burglar alarm systems, access control and health, and wellness systems to ensure the safety of your employees and visitors. If you are looking to modernize or purchase a new fire alarm system, look no further than ACE HTI. We can offer you the latest state-of-the-art solutions to keep watch over your business. Does your surveillance system need a refresh? ACE HTI can install the latest 4K surveillance cameras with custom analytics and AI to help you understand what's happening in and around your business. Are you a restaurant or hospitality venue? Does your facility host sporting events? Reach out to ACE HTI for the latest in video displays and audio systems to enhance and define your place of business. ACE HTI service area includes both North and South Carolina. Reach out to us today at 336-941-3171 or via email at info@ace-hti.com.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series here on Thursday night. We are at Atlanta, 66 laps in the books, just past the halfway point. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM broadcast, and we appreciate all that you do. We count on you, our viewers, to make what we do fun each and every week. So thanks again for tuning in, and we appreciate your support.
Atlanta has a nickname in some circles as Hotlanta, and it's not just for the temperature, but this track produces some exciting racing, and we're seeing some of that tonight. We had one big one. We've had a lot of lead changes. We've had guys mixing it up. We've had one lane single file. We've had 2 lanes, and occasionally, for brief moments, a 3rd lane has formed up for a little bit. But fortunately for all of us, I think, and for the drivers, they've stayed in double file most of the time.
Yeah, relatively pretty clean. We've had a few incidents here, but so far so good. It doesn't take much at these speeds. They're turning speeds over 185 miles an hour around this track. It doesn't take a bit of a mistake to really impact a lot of drivers. All right, these drivers will be coming up on another single car soon enough.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting when you've got that many cars trying to pass a single slower car out there on the track. Even when they do their best to get out of the way, we saw it just a little bit ago. It gets very crowded out there quickly. You can see that car up there in the distance, and these guys are going to get to it probably in the next lap or so.
Looks like he's going to stay on the high side here as they come back to the front stretch. Good on the 35, too, the last lap there as they came around him. He ducked down onto the apron, let everybody kind of fly past him, but see how the boys navigate here as they get around past him here, entering one. Briefly 3 wide. I'll tell you what, even though you know that car on top is going to give way, it sure does make your heart beat just a little bit harder. I mean, it could happen at any time.
And the further back in the field you are, the tougher it is because you can't see it coming. It's just all of a sudden it's there.
Oh, 3 wide and contact.
Ooh.
So that's Musso. Man. He saved it. There's a little contact with Ledger. Super close there. And in case you're wondering, that 9 is Jonathan Vernauskas. Just went a lap down.
Glad they got that one worked out because that would have been a mess. I think we're in store for more of that really tight racing as they come back through the front stretch. It's just there's only so much room and so much space on the track to fill in, and guys are going to be really starting to push for those positions. We see the top line gaining that speed. That's another factor that's going to really equate into the racing style and how patient some of these drivers are going to be, patient or impatient rather, as they decide what's next in their movement toward the front.
Here we are a little past halfway, and you're right, it's going to start ramping up. The intensity is going to increase. You're going to see guys making moves that maybe they wouldn't make in the first half of the race, but now it's to get moving. Go 3 wide towards the middle of the pack there, and Austin Wheeler trying to get around Mike Wheel, and he completes that pass by going around him in the middle, 3 wide.
A lot of courage in those moves. A lot of courage in those moves.
Absolutely.
I tell you.
Yeah, because if you don't time that right and your car's not capable of it, you get in the sucker hole in the middle, and nobody pushing you, nobody pulling you, and you just go backwards real fast. But somehow Austin was able to get that pass made and get in front of Mike Wheeler and gain a couple positions there.
One of the challenges that they'll face is if they do wind up in the middle, the side draft is so strong with these cars on this particular track. You're going to wind up just getting pushed all over the track as you're winding up, going backwards.
You could even see the effect of that as these guys just kind of snake around here as they're getting tighter and tighter. It's tough to hold in a straight line, trying to stay in that draft. Just the nature of this track, right? Being 1.5 miles, it's very different from a Daytona and a Talladega, and get a little out of sorts sometimes. Try to keep it all together here.
So Eric Jeffers continues to lead here, lap 77.
Got the one car here, dove down there, caught a little bit of the apron, came back up.
Contact with the wall. That's Vince Burns, the 55. Now that's another, you brought up a great point, Sal, that this track, specifically this track, you see that white, red, white paint that is right there that defines the difference between the apron and the racing surface. That really is a red line that you don't want to cross, because the banking is so significant here that just dropping one tire below will absolutely just upset your run and will spin you out.
It doesn't take much trying to get that little bit of edge. You want to get that little bit of lap time back. If you could hug that bottom line just a little better, it can work out a lot of time and give you that progress you're looking for. But one slip of the wheel, just a little bit too much, and you could end up making a problem for yourself and a lot of other folks here.
It's the big
move
push.
there.
34 car riding right on his bumper there.
Yeah, he came down right in front of him there.
Yeah.
He might have cleared himself. It was close, but he's going to be at the front of that line, the 97.
Yeah, that's the 97 of Jeff Ramsdell right there, getting the big push by 94. That is Michael Whitley Jr.
See another car jump down there too. It's going by so quick. Sorry, I can't see all the numbers as good as I wish I could. The 42 car jumping down there in front of the 97, seeing that run come together. That bottom line might have something for him.
Big shake up there. Lots of movement there. That lateral movement, which is the scariest here. 55 of Vince Burns got a big push going on behind him. That's Tyro Lem.
And he was the car that was up on the wall there before, a couple laps back. And that Arby's machine, he's looking for the beef because he wants to get in, around, and past the 55 as soon as he can.
Lap 82, we should be looking for pit stops in the next 10 laps.
96 just said the 96 just said he was pitting.
You got someone on pit, headed towards pit road right now. couple drivers. Got Mike Wheel, 96 on pit road.
The one going through the grass there?
Yep. That was Paul Urban. Decided to take a little excursion there.
Saw some of the infield grass he was trying. He missed. Brown's crew must have missed a spot there earlier before they let them out there on the track.
He got there and
That's puts
flattened
him
it out.
all back by himself there.
His saving grace may be that it is time for pit stop, so hopefully it won't be too much of a detriment to him in his strategy here.
A lot of racing going on, and they're still too wide. So if you're too wide and you've got to get down onto pit road, that's going to be a challenge.
Going to be interesting to see how they work that out. You know, the teams are going to want to all come together, and these guys are all going to try to position themselves in the next lap or two here to make that a reality. But like you said, I mean, it is going to be difficult to make friends that are going to let you in to get down onto pit road there.
Some good work by Tyler Lem to really move the 55 and himself up to the front, and got there taking Clark France in that 15. Clark started just outside on the outside of the pole here, and has worked his way back up to the front.
That 99 of Tyler Lem has had some speed all night as he's really made a good run up there with the 55.
Saw a car tag the wall. Not sure who it was. I think it was the black number 3 of Ron Fitting who may have had some contact, or the 72 of Jay Schultz.
Most of his cars last pitted on lap 46, so they're 41, 42 laps.
Yeah, I think around lap 91. That's my guess. That's my.
I just heard
crystal
one
ball.
driver say he has to pit next lap, so I think we'll start seeing him.
Corey Bunch is now on pit road.
I showed Jeff Ramsdell last pitted on lap 37. That doesn't seem possible, does it?
I showed the exact same data.
Yeah, I don't know how he's gone. That's a lot of laps. That's 9 laps further than everybody else has gone. But that's gotten him up to 10th position. So
And there's a lot of intense side drafting going on between the 43 of Garrett Walden and the 55. And for a while there, Tyler Lem as well.
I'm seeing the same thing between the 10 and the 15, Vernon Broadbeck and Clark Franz. Both of them just almost banging doors trying to side draft each other.
.40 laps to go here in Atlanta. We're expecting pit stops from these drivers sometime. Our calculations say sometime in the next 5 laps. We'll see if that pays out. Did see a driver there in the back, right in front of Clark France. I think that's the one of Hunter Hastings. Those guys got a little bit off of down below the apron. That's going to be a little bit scary. See one driver now making his way down onto pit road.
And all the while, the 99 of Tyler Lem goes to the front of the field here.
3 wide. That's the
Lem has
77 on the outside.
car.
I think he's a lap car.
Yeah, he is. That's Corey Bunch. He's a lap down. 2 laps down, actually, now. The leaders just went by him again. That's what happens. You're out there running by yourself.
Corey just came down pit road. Jeff Ramsell just left the pits.
Super interesting to see how these guys are planning on stretching out all this fuel and making their way. I mean, you could save a lot of fuel in the draft, but I don't know about 9 laps worth. So I'm a little bit curious. Maybe, I took math a few times, but my calculations ain't checking out so good. But we'll see how it all works out for them.
Yeah. So now, look, if everybody that pits now, they'll be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're expecting here. This is lap 94.
96 car, Mike Wheel, getting passed by everybody. He's up there in that top lane trying to stay out of everyone's way.
He's doing a little side drafting up there, trying to stay in the mix a little bit. I think he's trying to time this where he can get a lap back or get some position up here as these guys are looking to come to pit road shortly.
Yeah, we're seeing these guys stretching it out here.
Yeah, Mike pitted on lap 82, so yeah, you're right. He could be trying to get 1 lap back as everybody.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
He'll get his chance here as they all come down.
Stay with these leaders. This is going to be pretty crazy as these guys work their way around and have to blow that car up to 45.
So far, so good. The commentator's curse has not struck yet on pit road, but I'll tell you what, they did a pretty good job because he was 99 and Tyler Lem was flying. I don't know about pit road speed. Hopefully they all made it.
Bump.
Nothing
that they're going to take home with them in terms of
that's a move you have to practice.
Oh,
you've got to go through that a few times to get your braking points and how fast you can actually make that turn down on the flat.
This should be a four tire and a full fuel stop here to wrap this up.
Cars still left in the pits.
I think we'll see, but possible that some of these drivers just took right sides.
That is a baller move if you are just taking right sides.
Tyler Lem and Garrett Walden, their pits were sub 10 seconds. I'm thinking that is just one side fuel.
These boys are getting ready to get involved here late because, I mean, it is a smart play if you've been doing your best to save tires and you feel like you do have enough grip on those left sides, but I mean, it's an idea.
Yeah, that's a hero or the GOAT move.
Yeah. Either somebody's going to be hollering at you because you won at the end of this race, or they're going to be hollering at you because you couldn't hold on to it. So. There's our friend
10 and
friend
48
John
there. Yep, they're just
Ty Boston.
10 and the 48 are just tied together. It's like their bumpers are glue on them.
The rest of the field is finishing up. This is Simon Badgen, Alex Murphy, Martin Pinnell, Martin Giroux. That is our Canadian group.
All from Rumble Racing.
Yep. We will not boo the national anthem.
Those guys sticking together with that pit strategy. Oh, it's 2 of them are. Alex and Martin.
Well, this gets our pole sitter, Austin Wheeler, back up towards the front again.
Yeah, but we're also seeing now Tyler Lem by himself up front. I think he's going to wind up getting run down sooner or later, but let's bring up that gap information.
This is going to be interesting for Tyler to navigate this as they come back to him.
Yeah, they're about a second or 2 behind him. He's at the 43 of Garrett Walden and the 12 of Eric Jeffers, Vernon Broadbeck, and Austin Wheeler, Vince Burns, and John Ledger all together. They're on a hunt. They're on an Arby's hunt.
He's got 2 teammates that are running with each other back behind him, running him down there. who is it? The Full Throttle Motorsports guys, Garrett Walden and Eric Jeffers, who we've seen run strong all day. But they've dropped back a little here, but here they come.
Yeah, you've got Full Throttle and Roadrunner Motorsports, both teams chasing down and caught him.
Yep.
He's going to try to find a home here on the bottom line as they go flying by him like he's standing still there. That's, oh man, that's unfortunate.
Good for the 9 of John. Good for the 59 of John Drudris. He now finds himself, after that round of pit stops, up top 10.
Yeah, great job by John to get back up there.
Yeah, he was involved in one of those bigger wrecks where he caught a little bit of damage, probably not too much.
We were talking a little bit ago about the Roadrunner Motorsports, and right now they have made an Austin Wheeler sandwich. Vernon Broadbeck and Vince Burns running 1 and 3, sandwiching Austin Wheeler there from Smoky Mountain Motorsports right in the middle. And we'll have to see how this plays out. I think the 55 would like to get in front of the 48, but right now everybody's playing nice and staying content.
It'll be interesting to see how long they stay single file and play nice with each other, like you said. You know, we're winding down, 27 to go. If somebody can get a move to the outside and get a run, it's coming soon.
Yep. It's got to be, it could be Full Throttle Motorsports, because you know those guys running 5th and 6th, they'll stick together. So they may make their way out. And then you've got the 2 of the Mossows from Short Fused Motorsports running 9th and 10th. You get the 4 of them to make a move together, and that could have an impact.
I was just looking back at the 94 of Michael Whitley. That group just ran some incredible laps. They ran their fastest lap of the day. But there is after this last 104 laps, we're seeing some incredible speeds out there on this track.
Yeah, talking about fastest laps, Jacob Mossow still has our fastest lap of the race. Way back early on, we were talking about lap times, and he had his lap time still the same, 29.586 is the fastest lap of the race so far. And Jacobs found himself up in 9th spot.
All right, Vernon Broadbeck is out there up front. Austin Wheeler in 2nd. Vince Burns in 3rd. John Letcher 4th. And Garrett Walden is sitting in 5th.
We're seeing that top line start to take shape, but kind of far back. 25 car leading that line, but they are making some pretty good progress here. It'll be interesting to see as drivers are going to jump to the rear of that line or try to jump up in front of it to make a move. Like you said, those teams are running together.
Oh, they're
maybe
3 wide, just in behind here. 27.
Ooh, boy.
Contact there maybe slowed them down.
Tyler Lem dropped out below the just to stay out of trouble. But yeah, we're going to see it, with just 24 laps to go. If you're going to make a move, now's the time, because it's so hard. See the 59 John Drudris jump up to the high line, see if he can make a little bit more hay up there.
Give these drivers a lot of credit for being as patient as they have been.
Yeah, we were talking about the Mossow boys from Short Fuse Motorsports. They were back around 9th or 10th, and they got themselves, I think they used that outside line to move up, and got themselves up in 4th and 5th now.
Yep, Jacob Musso is up there in 4th, Joe behind. We've got a little bit of help there. That's Corey Innes that's behind them. The 27.
Talked about that top line rubbering in early in this race, and
yep,
you're seeing that come into play right here. Those short fuse drivers are making the most of that opportunity that they have on the top line. Is they are making some serious progress.
All right, we've got 27 cars still on the lead lap. Just 21 laps to go here in Atlanta. Thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. Again, we ask that if you like what you see and you want to keep being reminded of events that are coming up, please like and subscribe to our channel, and you'll never miss a video. So appreciate you, and use that to keep in touch with us.
We're in for a real exciting season in this Cup Series on Thursday night. So, you know, the last 2 weeks here for me are brand new. This is my first kind of introduction to the iNRS and these drivers in this league, and it has been a ton of fun. So you definitely do not want to miss it. I hope everybody out there watching is having half as much fun as I am talking about it, because it has been a good time.
It sure has.
And we're going to have an exciting finish to this race now. Down to 19 laps to go. We've been talking about them a lot lately, but Jacob Mossow, Joe Mossow, they are leading that outside line and gradually making their way up to the lead. We'll see if they can make it the whole way, but they're sticking together like glue.
Yeah,
Those guys have very rarely been more than 3 feet apart.
I think on that inside line, I think Austin Wheeler is doing everything he can to continue to push Vernon, but when it's that last lap and they're coming out of 4, it's going to be every man for himself. Austin Wheeler's going to find a way to get around, and if they've got the run that they've got now, it'd be hard for us to hope that 10 can hold on if possible. But it's such a great run that car that's just behind the leader gets aerodynamically.
Yeah, Broadbeck and Wheeler finished 3rd and 2nd last week. So those guys have proven they know how to race in the draft, and they know when to be aggressive, when to be conservative, and I think they have a good trust in each other, even though they're on different teams. I think they have a respect and a trust for each other, and you're going to see them continue to try to keep themselves up at the front.
Well, next week we wind up going to Las Vegas in a relatively traditional 1.5-mile track for the Pennzoil 200. Should be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm sad I'm going to miss that one. I really like Vegas. I like running there. I like watching races there. It's a fun track, and I think that should be a good race.
And Sal, that'll be your first official in the front seat.
Yeah, officially official. Hopefully, I've soaked in quite a bit over the last 2 weeks, so hopefully I'll be able to fill the shoes a little bit while me and Jeff swap out.
Oh yeah, you'll do great.
Vegas is one of those tracks.
Ooh, here we go. 25.
Yeah, right
Jacob
there, nose to nose.
Mossow into the lead. There they go. He and I think it's his brother Joe, are just pushing their way. They've been pushing. Finally made their way up to 1st and 2nd. Let's see if they can keep it. Whoa!
Drops right down.
Behind.
Jacob just left him at the altar. Wow.
Tell you what, it is going to put them in control of that front row. But Sure didn't expect him to jump down like that when he did. As soon as he saw the hole, he was in there.
Yep.
And I guess, all bets are off with 13 to go.
Oh, yeah. It's
could be a good strategy, too, to see how, the side draft comes into play here on that outside line. It's maybe he's trying to hold the 10 car, Vernon Broadbeck, back from Jacob, as Jacob tries to kind of get out and run away a little bit.
In fact, there's a little bit of contact there. Almost, I think the 10 backed up a little bit. Vernon Broadbeck backed out. Gave him a little bit of a gap. Now he's right back on the bumper of the 25.
Well, that's part of the strategy, right? That's part of the strategy of trying to hang a guy out and put him on an island to get that run. Usually you don't see that happen until the last lap of the race or the last few laps of the race, but they're going for it.
Yeah, here we are, 11 to go, and it's going quickly.
Talked about bumpers and locking onto each other. That's a Ford leading the race with a Chevrolet behind it pushing. You know, we know even the manufacturers, if they're the same, they don't match up the way they probably would like, but just take a note of that as they come back around here, back to the front stretch.
Yeah, with 10 laps to go, there's still a lot of exciting racing going on here. You're going to see more and more, tighter and tighter, pushing and shoving, and it's going to get interesting. Saw the 27 get into the back of the 28 there, try to give him a little shot forward.
Yeah, you watch this race with 10 laps, and you have that feeling in the back of your mind, that little itch that says something spicy's just around the corner.
Now this back could wind up, I think the 50 is coming up. That's Martin Giraud. So they're going to be a lap down car that will come into play here in a lap or so.
And that probably affects the outside line a little bit more.
These guys just broke away. They're completely separate. I'm not sure what
yeah, he stayed low, and I think they thought he was going to stay high. Oh, there he goes down to the apron.
But with 8 laps to go, the fact that they broke down to a single file has really changed the complexion of this race. Caution's out. I'm not sure why. I don't see
I didn't see it, but I'm wondering if that car that was down on the apron, he tried to take the turn on the apron, and I don't know if he was able to do that or not.
He was bringing a full head of steam down through the backstretch there, and saw him kind of do a little wiggle as he seemed like he was still deciding if he was going to come up.
See, Jai Schultz is coming down with the 72. He's smoking pretty hard.
Oh yeah, there's some damaged race cars on pit road right there.
Yeah,
not sure what happened, but quite a bit.
Oh, I think we just found something. Let's back this up
there you go.
Bit. That's the 42 of Tony Japs and the 72 of Jai Schultz. So 42 is up by himself, minding his own business. He is coming down a bit. 72
trying to get that hole in between those guys, and the 72's coming up.
They're both looking for the same racing space. Yep.
That 78 just kind of that 72 just kind of floats up there looking for that spot, but just maybe some miscommunication. Oh no, and then Tyler Lem
99.
Just after being up front, after being up front most of this race, just
22 gets by with just a little bit of contact.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. That stinks.
Oh,
and a little more insult to injury there.
Yeah.
All right, so we are under caution here with 6 to go. That doesn't change everything, does it, guys?
You talk about the spice. Here it comes.
Yep.
It's going to be a hell of a restart here. I think it's going to be something interesting as these guys line up, try to get a good jump. Interesting to see those guys who stayed out on just those right sides or just took right sides last time. Maybe some risk takers out there in the field here with 6 to go.
Yeah, and I just got corrected. Backroad Sim Racing just stated that COTA is next week. The reason why I jumped to Las Vegas is that we don't actually cover these for this league. We don't actually broadcast their road courses until we get to the playoffs. So we'll be off next Thursday, but we'll return for Vegas the following week on Thursday nights.
And that's still your first run, Sal, officially.
That'll be it. I enjoy Las Vegas. That's a fun track.
Yeah. That's a good track. That'll be a fun race and an exciting race, I think.
Yeah, I think I've got my my schedule all jacked up here. So here we're at Atlanta. Next week we're at Coda. They're at Coda. We're off, and then we come back for Phoenix March 6th, and that's your first race at Phoenix.
Oh, okay. Wherever you need me,
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
here. As long as I'm not working, I'll be here.
Sorry.
These have been a blast to be a part of. I appreciate you guys having me up here in the booth and being a part of this. It's really exciting.
Well, I should do a better job of reading the schedule. So. All right, so the lights are off.
You got your hands full there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on. We are about to get this back underway. Lights are off on the pace car, which means we'll be back with 4 laps to go. Jacob Musso is in charge of this restart. He'll have the 10 of Verdon Broadbeck to his outside, the 48 of Austin Wheeler behind, and then the 55 of Vince Burns is. Here we go.
Ooh, good jump there too on the bottom for Musso.
Yeah, the 10 and the 55 are teammates to the outside.
That was a big push too. The 55 gave to the 10 there, Broadbeck.
Yeah.
Just trying to
Wheeler
keep that
got
line
caught up to Jacob there pretty quickly, so that's going to allow them to keep that head of steam. Oh, 10 goes up in front of the 55, and a little bumper-to-bumper contact
really,
there.
Really impacted their run.
Yeah, that just stalled that line out.
Yeah, that was a choice by the 10 there of Vernon Broadbeck to block both lines, kind of like he was leading this race almost, but finally made his mind up there, sticking with his teammate on the top. But it might.
I think he probably wanted to get up there to help out, but it was a little bit late.
A little late.
Yeah, but now you've got Musso, Wheeler, Musso, 1, 2, 3.
There's a reason this track produces such fantastic finishes in real life in the NASCAR Cup Series. I think we're in for something equally as exciting right here.
2 laps to go. Next time by, we'll take the white flag, and if we get there cleanly, whatever happens, happens.
See some of these guys here in the middle of the pack that position themselves perfectly in the case that. Oh, there you go. There's your 3 wide.
Yep, Joe
10
Musso
goes up to the top.
by himself, 25
wow.
low. 48's pushing the 25. Fortunately, the 11 finds himself in the middle. Oh, contact.
Boy, there they go.
Oh,
Wrecking, but that's the final
wrecking
lap.
behind them.
Doesn't matter. That's just what's happened. We're down to final turns here on the backstretch. Coming into 3.
Massa is blocking Wheeler.
25
Every time
is
Wheeler
in
tries
lead.
to go. There
It's
he goes.
Musso, Wheeler, and the IWN boys, Ledger and DeRutris, have made it up and are making a run at it.
Oh!
3 wide.
There's
Wow.
a side draft gone wrong. Ooh, hard into the wall.
I'll tell you what, there was a lot of moving around there at the start
Boy,
finish
I'll
line.
say.
Pretty sure our man John DeRudris made it up to P3 there at the end.
So right now,
Yeah.
unofficially, I've got Wheeler as the winner. Of course, he's got a wrecked car. John Ledger second. DeRutris third. We'll wait for this to finish up and get the official results. But, man, they pulled it off.
Whew. Yeah, that last lap there, that white flag lap was interesting there. He got caught in the sucker hole, and that wreck was just inevitable. A little friendly back and forth there, maybe.
I was trying to
hopefully.
figure that out too.
Came up on him in a hurry. And then
You
popped
can
out.
see that the back of that 48, he's missing his pretty much the entire rear end. In fact, that rear tire is not moving.
I was trying to see, did he
He's
cross
dragging.
the line sideways, or did he get sideways after he'd crossed?
Oh, I don't know. But you know what? He's the winner, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't
That's
need
right.
that tire to turn anymore.
No, he's
He's
good.
got everything he needed out of it
Yeah.
tonight.
One's turning. That's all that matters. He just needs one. He's trying to make his way
We
back.
didn't talk much about our the winner from last week was Mr. Whitehead, and Lucas Whitehead in the 33 car. he did not make the race this
Nope.
weekend.
Yeah,
That is
unfortunate.
boy, that's the word I was hunting for. That's very unfortunate for him.
All right, let's.
to go.
I think we've got the results. Let's bring that up.
You can see they've all taken their time here to make sure that they've got this right.
Yeah. And there it is. And there it went.
All right, Austin Wheeler is your winner. John Ledger in second. John DeRudris in third. Jacob Musso in fourth. Joe Musso in fifth. Vernon Broadback finishes in sixth. Vince Burns in seventh. Michael Whitley Jr., great finish for him, is in eighth. Hunter Hastings in ninth. Garrett Walden finishes in 10th.
And I can't read them. So, Sal, if you can, go ahead.
Where are we going from 10th on? We've got Clark Franz, Corey Bunch, Mike Campeggio, Jeff Ramsdell, Eric Jeffers, Josh Douglas, and Martin Pinnell rounding out the rest of the field there up to the 17th position.
Ty Bostic in 18th, Tyler Lemon 19th, Ron Fitting in 20th, Paul Irvin 21st, Alex Murphy 22nd, Mike Wheel finishes in 23rd, Gary Wells 24th, Corey Ennis 25th, Matt Persini in 27th, 28th is Jonathan Vernakis, Martin Giroux 29th, 30th Richard Mills, 31st Caleb Lamb, Jay Schultz 32nd, Tyler Sexton 33rd, Tony Japs, Austin Walton, Scott Thomas, Matt Crockett, Jeremy Cody, Shane Trotter, Jordan Wenzel finishes, and that's your top 40. All right, with that, let's go ahead and bring our third place finisher into the booth. Here we are. John DeRudris, congratulations on that P3 finish.
What a race. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what to say. That was incredible on the last lap.
Man, we saw that you were you started out well. You got caught up in a little bit of one of the wrecks that were there, a little bit of damage, but you made it back up. And then that last pit stop, that was money for you.
Yeah, it worked out well. Was able to pit with Ty, my teammate, and was able to get out with the lead pack. And it really was the second lap after that big group came down that we were able to draft and have a faster lap, which kind of leapfrogged us up to that lead pack. And it was a strategy. We were trying to figure out who's going to pit with who, and the big group came down, and we were like, all right, we're going to go down next. And it worked out.
Well, John, tell us what your favorite is. Do you like broadcasting the races more or driving the races more?
Oh boy, if it's Rick, I have to give a specific answer to Rick. But I gotta say, this was pretty fun. This is pretty fun. It feels really natural to be up here in the booth again. And Rick, I said I wanted to be up here last night, so I spoke it into existence a little bit. But no, I love it both. Being out here at Atlanta, it is wild. It may look a little like you're parading around a little bit on the screen, but when you are behind the wheel of these cars, I mean, it's different than any other super speedway. It's not like Daytona. It's not like Talladega, because it's a super speedway condensed into a mile and a half. And so the runs are bigger. The checkups are bigger. It was wild. So I like being up here. I just got to get a win now.
Well, congratulations.
Well, we're glad you're down there. Glad you're down there racing tonight, John, because it gave me a great chance to be up here and finally get a hold of you. You know, as a broadcaster now, you're the reason that Sal's here. So thank you for bringing me into the fold. And we talked about us talking like this. You know, we're talking to you first tonight, but maybe we'll talk to you last in the future here as the season goes on.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Coda's next week. I really like that track. The new configuration is really fun. It's definitely more exciting and a little bit harder on the cars. So hopefully the practice that I put in can hopefully land me up here and maybe get a win next week.
There you go. Any shout outs tonight, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Rick, Jeff, Sal, got to shout out you, everybody at the IWM Broadcast Network, of course. Gonna shout out ATYL Media. Gonna shout out Everybody that's involved there, oh my gosh, there's a laundry list of names. Sal's a part of that. Taylor, oh my goodness, Adam. I mean, Big Duke. You have, just in this, Alex. So many names. Dom, can't forget Dom. And just shout out to everybody that's watching back home. I know I have some family that's tuned into this race and saw that Bleacher Report Racing was tuning in and cheering me on. So good to see them tuned into this race and get that coverage there. So it was a great race. And honestly, I can't believe that last lap turned out like that in that corner. I didn't lift. Like the great quote says, I'm not going to lift until I see the checkers or heaven. And I think I saw the checkers really well tonight.
All right. Well, congratulations, John.
Congratulations.
Your
Good work, John. Congratulations.
Good work.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
With that, we'll bring in his teammate, actually. This is John Letcher. Let's go ahead and see if we bring John into the broadcast booth. John, congratulations on your P2 finish.
Thank you, Rick. How'd you guys like that race?
That was pretty incredible.
That
there.
was amazing.
It's,
amazing.
So there was a little bit of just some mundane racing, but it was completely filled in between with moments of terror. So.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe when I got turned and I turned it left to try and stay off the track and just locked it down. I only had like 10 seconds of damage from that.
Man, I tell you, we were really concerned because you're caught up. Luckily, for you, you were caught up in that, but because of where you wound up coming off the track, you didn't get collected by all of that stuff happening behind you.
Yeah, for once, I got lucky.
Well,
tell us about the finish. I mean, that was crazy as you guys were coming across the line.
Yeah, I saw the 48 out in front. We had a run. Me and John kind of faked to the outside. We saw him go up the block, so we just dove it down underneath. And I think if I don't get doored right at the last second because it set my car a little squirrely, like 7,000ths of a second, that close.
Oh, my.
just a great finish.
Yeah.
John, any
you guys
shout-outs
delivered
tonight?
the excitement tonight.
Definitely got to shout out my teammates, Ty Bostic and John D over here. I wouldn't have been in that position without them. Got to shout out you guys in the booth and everyone at IWM. Wouldn't be able to do this without any of our guys.
Well, definitely some good success for the IWM group. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out Austin Wheeler. He had a good win tonight.
All right. Speaking of Austin, let's go ahead and bring Mr. Wheeler into the broadcast booth. Austin, hope you can hear us. Congratulations on your win. I think your mic is muted. If you can hear us.
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Congratulations on that win. That was a wild ride tonight.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. Coming to the last lap, I didn't know who won it. It took till turn one to figure it out.
Well, I mean, you started on the pole, put a good solid number up there. Some good racing throughout the day. You had a number of draft partners and folks that you worked with, but certainly there was that challenge that came up towards the end with the Musso folks that was close.
Yeah, I was. Unfortunately, I didn't have any teammates in the race today. They got booted out for not making the top 40 in on speed. So I really didn't know who I had to help me today or not. I was kind of on my own. I felt like got the pole, led some laps. I think I won the stage, maybe might have been second. Can't remember. I got kind of mired back in the pack for a while, and I was kind of stuck. The pit stop really got me a good strategy again, and I was able to stay up there and hang with them.
Well,
Yes.
Austin, we were able to talk to you last week. So 2 weeks in a row, that's starting to become a habit. Can you continue that?
I like trends and patterns, so hopefully we can keep it going in this direction.
How do you feel about road courses?
I like them. I feel like I have pretty good pace on them. As long as I don't make my own mistakes and blow corners, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, with the reconfiguration of COTA, that should make for a very interesting race.
Yeah, it's going to be some different turns that we're not used to running there the past couple of years. So we'll put some practice in and see what kind of pace we can get and see what happens next week.
Any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, man, my team, they still stuck around. They stuck around and helped and watched the race and helped me, let me know where the runs are coming from. So they're great people for sticking around and still trying to help, even though they didn't make the show. So I really appreciate them and all the sponsors on the car, Wheelers Painting, Cash Customs, and everybody that makes this thing happen every week. I really appreciate it.
Well, Austin, you're with last week's second place and this week's win. You're going to end up being officially the points leader.
And you
That's a
punched
good way
your,
to start the season.
and you punched your ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's exciting. We still got a long ways to go, a lot of racing in front of us, but we got Smoky Mountain wins first and second race of the year, so let's see if we make it 3 for 3 next week.
You got it. All right, congratulations to Austin Wheeler for winning here in the AmBetter Health 200 with the iNRS Racing Series. Guys, any wrap-up comments?
We talked at the beginning of the race about how this could either be a crash fest or it could be a pretty quick race if guys kept it together, kept their concentration, and made good decisions. And that's what we got. I mean, only 3 cautions all night long. And the second one was a big one, but yet that was because I think more of the fact that the accident happened up at the front, so it collected a lot of cars. So I think these guys did a great job tonight, made for an exciting race, a fun race, and we saw some good, solid racecraft tonight.
We sure did.
Yeah, this one was a ton of fun. I mean, it was the perfect balance of just good hard racing and, a couple of slip ups along the way, but I think it really helped play into some strategy for guys and they took advantage. So seeing, some misfortune happen, but those who were kind of on the ball and able to use that to their advantage was kind of interesting to see and made it just that much more entertaining. And we got a great result tonight, a great last lap. So hope everybody had fun. It was a fun one to watch for me. So can't complain.
Right. All right, so next week we'll be on Wednesday night with the Tech for Troops Cup Series. Thursday we'll be off. These drivers will take on COTA, but we'll return the following week for Phoenix here on Thursday nights with the iNRS Racing Series. So from myself, Rick, Sal, Jeff, we thank you all for tuning in tonight and hope to see you next week here on the IWM Broadcast Network. Good night, folks.